It's KOIN 6 News at 4, everyone. I'm Dan Tilken.
And I'm Jennifer Hoff. And those earthquakes, they started around midnight, some 300 miles off the coast of the Blanco Fracture Zone and the Juan de Fuca Ridge.
Out of the 5 separate quakes, 3 of them were magnitude 5+. KOIN wants to know, what does it all mean, if anything? Our Cor Harlan, he is in the newsroom with some answers. Cor, what'd you find out?
Dan and Jennifer, when we hear about a swarm of offshore earthquakes, it gets a lot of people's attention because of the constant threat of the big quake lurking beneath the ocean bottom off Oregon's coast.
These are occurring along a fault here that's on the boundary between the Juan de Fuca Plate and the Pacific Plate.
The largest in a series of quakes happened as we looked over a wall of ground motion sensors at the U.S. Geological Survey offices in Vancouver at around 1:13 Monday afternoon. A motion sensor near Mount Hood picked up all of the ocean quake activity today, the quakes highlighted in red on those screens. Do these quakes tell us anything? Could they mean we're any closer to the big offshore quake that rattled this region more than 300 years ago? I asked USGS seismologist Seth Moran, and he says the answer is likely no.
These earthquakes are occurring in a totally different part of the system and aren't really relevant in terms of a physical way.
Moran says the recent quakes are on a fault line further out to sea than the much more dangerous fault line right off the Oregon coast. The fault line closest to the coast, the Cascadia Subduction Zone fault line, has caused huge quakes in the past and is building up pressure now because it's stuck.
The area where it's stuck is roughly like this, between my two fingers. And if that entire patch were to go all at once, that's a magnitude 9. It's a long fault, it's a wide fault.
The quakes today are all in a spot where quakes of this magnitude happen fairly regularly, according to the USGS. Interesting to look at, but not a signal that a bigger quake is about to happen. And again, 5 earthquakes in all as of starting at midnight last night. The quakes swarms not too far actually from recent volcanic activity that they've had on the ocean bottom out there. But the USGS says these quakes and the volcano activity pretty normal for that area of the ocean and no cause to sound any alarm bells closer to home. Dan and Jennifer.
All right, it's all very interesting. I was reading that you have to have about a magnitude 7 or greater to get a tsunami, and of course it has to be in the right place.
Right.
So very much matters where these happen and where they don't happen.
Yeah,
Right.
very interesting, Cor.